So, in light of the release of the matric results, the class of 2021, I am here thinking about the pressure that comes with the release of matric results. What now for students, whether you passed or not, however you passed, and how stressful is that? It is. And I'm also thinking about, it's just unleashed a whole lot of thoughts. It reminds me of the future of work and how things have changed. How reality is going to start kicking in when some of the students are going to land in university, the life, and how tough it actually is, and how actually schools, specifically public schools, to a certain extent, they're not preparing students to thrive post-school, to thrive in the post-school life. Like, they do not. How the school has been structured, it doesn't prepare us. It didn't prepare us. It is not preparing even the current students to thrive after. Right now, they went to schools to get the statement of results, and then that's it. For some, that's it. They don't inquire, what are your plans? It's like they don't care, they're detached. So it's like, we've done our work, go see for yourself. So it's concerning, because for some students, that's when they're going to get lost. Even the brightest students, even the smartest, even the well-behaved, that's the moment. There's a chance that, from that point onwards, some are going to lose themselves. So right now, I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about the quality of education that we have, and I'm thinking about myself. I haven't been. I consider myself to be lucky, and I think that's why I'm actually right now talking and recording this thing, because I consider myself to be lucky. Yes, in school I had academic talent. I have academic talent. I'm good. I'm a good student. I prepared myself. I took initiative. I was a proactive student. I wanted to know about what subjects I was going to study in my first year while I was still in school. I had some textbooks. I had multiple textbooks and stuff like that. So that is privilege and all that, right? I fought so hard because I wanted to prepare myself. No one told me that you got to do whatever. You got to apply for this. You got to acquire certain information, stuff like that, And right now, I didn't complete my academic journey, the way it was more logical to say, after matric, you passed so well on top of your class. Now you gotta go get a degree and then get a job and stuff like that. That is not my journey. That was not my journey. I did attempt university. I didn't complete. I dropped out for other reasons, right? So now here I am, right? I'm looking at students. I'm looking at school learners in school, and the one that recently completed the matric, and I feel for them. I'm concerned about how they're going to take on the world, and some laws of rude awakenings they're gonna encounter, because they have not been prepared. And for me to be where I am, I consider myself to be thriving, to be still being a person who has not lost herself, regardless of the fact that I was not prepared for post-matric life. I credit all of these things to the same education that I got, that the student has or have received. It is not like everyone is talking about the quality of education, especially in our public schools, being low. But for me, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, it is not the education, the quality of education, or so to speak, to be specific, I would say, it's not the content, it's not what is in our textbooks that is of low quality. All right, we can talk about, the curriculum, it's not complete. We need extra stuff to be added to prepare us for post-matric life, right? But as far as the textbooks and the curriculum that we have right now, and the pass marks are not even like that, it's not even a problem, the pass mark. It's not even the problem. The problem for me, in retrospect, is how the content has been delivered to us. Today, the reason why I managed to thrive in a career in strategy consulting without any background in business, entrepreneurship, or strategy consulting, straight out of engineering, and I got into strategy consulting, started from scratch, and I did the best work, right? I delivered the best. The reason why that was possible without any formal education, it takes me back to science, physical sciences in school, how it was delivered to me. And it is the same physical sciences that some of the students have studied, right? So here's what I mean by physical sciences. The reason why I went on to excel in strategy consulting, it was because of my analytical and systematic thinking skills. I'm a critical thinker, right? So, and that comes from how physical sciences was introduced to me by Mr. Ngwepe MT, my high school teacher at Mahoi High School, right? So that was my science teacher. How he did it, it's like he made me fall in love, fall in love with the subject, the principle of physical science, what, like the laws, it was more than just me understanding what is a force, the third law of motion and stuff like that, and just getting the right in my text script. He made it practical for me, how it affects me in my everyday life. So for me, I lived science. Everywhere I went, even when I asked him, why is the sky blue? Would it still rain if there was no force of gravity? Those, so to speak, stupid questions, he unleashed the inquisitive side of me. He created a conducive environment for me to be inquisitive, to be curious, to ask questions, and to really fall in love and value the subject. You understand? So I could have passed science taught by another teacher who was detached from the subject, but really knew how to teach, like as in like clinically, where I passed well, but I didn't fall in love with the subject. And I become a top student in science, but still I didn't develop my critical thinking skills and systematic thinking skills. Because what Mr. Ngwepe did with me, what I got from him, was that when I was having an exam paper in front of me, how I approached science subject, from just a single sentence, each and every word had its own branches. I had a mind map on each word. When it was force, already there was, what is the definition of a force? And then those different force, when it goes to the right and left, negative, positive, up and down, stuff like that, and then I connected it to the Newton's laws of motion. And if it was momentum, I'm thinking about impulse, and I'm thinking about the formula that needs to be applied, and what other formulas and principles and theorems this thing connects to. What is it? It was like, how do I call this? It's like I broke down a sentence, everything. Like the reason why I was good in science, it was not because I was cramming well. It was not that. It was because I showed interest in the subject. Because how it was delivered to me, it was that this thing, you live it. It's everywhere. Science is everywhere. So that fascinated me. And in addition to that, I loved working with principles, right? So why do we have the airbags? Okay, fine. Where flip. Right now, I'm leaning into science. I'm getting carried away because I actually love science. I love it, right? So how it was delivered to me created importance. There's like value that was generated around this subject, and the teacher was involved in it. So there is nothing wrong with physical science, the curriculum and the subjects, the textbooks that the editions that we're using in school. That is not the problem. The challenge, the key thing, it is how this thing is delivered to us. It's like the same thing. If the teacher comes in and the teacher says, you are all going to fail the subject, it defeated even those that came before you and stuff like that. That is their attitude, right? So we're not going to pass it. So I used to call physics a filter subject. It's like it's like drawing in engineering, engineering drawing, it's one of those filter subjects that they're just notorious, right? But really it's because of the brand that was created around them, right? You get detached from scratch. So anyway, without like getting carried away too much. So the key thing when it comes to subjects is we need to look at our subjects and teach students not really what is in the book, what is force and stuff like that, you know, analytical geometry, trigonometry, stuff like that. We shouldn't be focused on getting them to learn, to cram the theorems and stuff like that, and getting the calculations right. We need to be teaching them why they're important, why it is important for them to understand these theorems and stuff like that. It's like when you go to a mathematics textbooks, especially those from, you know, maybe before even NCS, or what was the last curriculum before CAPS? I think it was our curriculum, or before, during the time of biology. Those textbooks, they had some sort of literature. So what I did, I used to read the text before I go to the calculations, because there's some sort of a background thing, the application of calculations. It's like calculus. Where is it coming from? So I get attached to the story and how it is being applied. So when I do the calculations and stuff like that, I'm thinking of that. So you're building a relationship between the subject and the student. So get the student to love the subject and why the subject is important, right? I got into metallurgical engineering. I got to study metallurgical engineering because in grade 6, it's grade 11, right? In grade 11, I came across the extraction of iron, and I was so fascinated. I was like, I love this. I didn't know that you can, like, I literally knew the real process that the extractive metallurgists and people in geology and mining get to use, the process that they get to use to extract iron from an iron ore. So it's like a practical thing. So for me, I was like, I love this. And then I went on to the strength of materials and the material science and stuff like that. I'm like, whoops, I love it. So you understand what I'm trying to say? So this thing even goes back to when I do motivational talks in schools. I refrain from telling students what to do. I don't tell students to say, score a distinction, whatever. No, you have to have a reason, because when the alarm clock is like ringing at 3 a.m. or 12 or 10 p.m., I won't be there. And when you feel like snoozing, I won't be there. So you gotta have a reason to get up. So if that reason to get up at 3 a.m. to study math or to study English or Spady, whatever it is, it's because you want to get into medical school or journalism or whatever, well, that is a good enough reason to get up. But if it's just Heidi said that or your teacher said that, it won't work. Hence, I don't tell people what to do, right? So we have to create importance or value around subjects, and that we're going to unlock the inspiration in students to learn and really understand and grasp the subjects beyond just understanding 1 + 1 and the simultaneous equation and stuff like that, but understanding how this also can be applied practically, right? So what I'm proposing, what I'm saying right now in terms of changing how subjects are being taught, it will also help both in pushing academic performance and also in developing creative thinking in people, in students, and proactive thinking. It will also like liberate their minds, you know, because it is not really enough to be a top student that crammed the work and then you don't even know how to apply that knowledge practically. You can go on and pass well, be on top. When we talk about the future of work, it's knowledge economy. It's knowledge economy. You gotta know how to apply what you've learned in school. We see you got your distinctions in both high school and in university, but can you do the job? Do you understand? Can you really think? Can you actually solve problems? Because these subjects that we're doing in school, those are the subjects that are meant to develop our skills, our problem-solving skills. The practicals that we're doing, it has the oral presentations they're there to help us with public speaking, communication skills, right? But are they doing that? I guess that's where I'm at. Are they doing that? Are they being delivered in such a way that we also know that the reason why we're doing oral presentations because we're preparing ourselves for what is still coming? Because if we knew that oral presentations are there to develop our public speaking and help us, kill this stage fright and be comfortable being in front of people and just, voicing our opinions and stuff like that, helping us in boardroom one day, then I think we won't have people that will say, give me 0, ma'am. Because they would understand why they need to get up and do that unprepared speech. Yeah, but so for me, I'm thinking about life orientation. Life orientation is I think it's like one of the underrated subjects, and a subject that could potentially be a subject that could actually solve everything that I'm talking about, that I'm worried about right now. Because life orientation can be the subject that can prepare students for life after matric. That could actually not even after matric. That could actually even teach those that are not academically given or gifted. People who are not the misfits. People who are not, who are all about like mechanical stuff, technical stuff. People who are not really into books or reading. This is the subject that, if well structured or if well delivered, because it's not like the textbook, your life orientation doesn't have things about career choices and stuff like that, and personality stuff and self-image and confidence. It's not like it doesn't have that. It's just that right now, at some point it used to be prioritized, but right now it's more focused on physical education. I'm not saying that physical education is not important. It is important, but we're underutilizing it. We underutilizing life orientation. It could be one of the subjects that really prepare students for life after matric. The career choices, subject choices, and going all out. Not tunnel vision on you have to pass matric and after matric you're going to university. No, there has to be entrepreneurship in life orientation. There has to be self-mastery, personal mastery, right? There has to be leadership development in life orientation, right? Identity, character development. That's people like if it means life orientation is like one of those NBT tests that we take, and those prerequisites or this compulsory test that we get to take before we enroll in certain courses. If it has to be what we get to take in grade 8 or in grade 7, then so that people after that you get the scores and your personality test and stuff like that, then they see that, okay, my route is not even school. I gotta get into technical school where we do the handworking stuff, and then let it be that way. So that we don't force even people who are not meant for academia into academia. So there is nothing from my point of view, it's like there is not really something, there's nothing wrong that much with our curriculum. It is how it has been delivered. It is how it has been delivered, and also, it is how it has been delivered. And after that, I think we just need some few spices. What I've just said about life orientation, it's not really there. When we check EMS, Economics and Management Sciences, that's the subject that could have developed entrepreneurs. It's there in primary school. It used to be there, I think, in primary school and in high school, right? This is the book, the text, the book, the subject that could have developed entrepreneurs, innovators. So what needs to be changed in EMS is that it has to move from just introducing entrepreneurship as people who are street vendors. They have to talk about the Steve Jobs of the world, the Batu, the Theo Baloi, like all these people. It has to be updated because that's the entrepreneurship, And so EMS, life orientation right now, those are the core subject, like I'm realizing right now that they're key. And also science. Science is important. Physical sciences is actually important because it helps with your thinking skills, your creative thinking. And also technology, right? Actually, I would say all subjects are important. It's just a matter of what do you know? How does it apply in everyday life? Natural sciences, arts and culture, talent development in there, talent nurturing, But are we really intentional about using these subjects to develop the students, or are we only focused, like clinically focused on them cramming the definitions and getting it right on multiple choice and just getting the 50s and the 30s? So I think the intent and how we deliver it, how we deliver the subjects, I think if that changes, we're going to have students that after receiving the matric results, whether they passed or not, they will know where to go. Life orientation will be talking about your second chance matric rewrite, the start school, the bridging courses and stuff like that. They won't even need to go for the career fairs in institutions where they just give them the pamphlets. They will get to have that intimate knowledge in their books. Or if it's not even in their books, we used to have Love Life. It was a separate thing that came during the life orientation period. So we can have guest lecturers, guest facilitators that will come and speak on a particular subject, career choice, subject choice, whatever. So I guess that's it. I still have faith in the quality of our education, quality of our curriculum, right? I just have a problem or concern about how it has been delivered to students. The way it has been delivered right now in public schools, it's not preparing students to thrive beyond matric. Hence, we have students who are bright, who are good, and then they're losing themselves after matric. So the competitiveness of any school, it's not only based on the matric pass rate. It is also based on whether or not the students thrive post-matric. Are they prepared enough to thrive? Are they ready for the future of work? Right? The fourth industrial revolution, they shouldn't be hearing about the fourth industrial revolution after they passed the matric and then they graduated, and when they're looking for a job, they're talking about artificial intelligence and robotics and stuff like that, and now they have to take short courses. This is something that could have been integrated in high school or primary school or university level at some point, but not hear about it when it is so difficult to get a job. So that's just where I am right now. I'm concerned. The reason why 2 years ago I wrote that short book, Career Choices and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and how it is affecting, career success and what it really takes nowadays to succeed in life. The reason why I wrote that book is because I saw it in my own journey. I jumped. It's like things changed and things are changing. Starting science, physical science, doing science in high school, it doesn't mean that your career route now, your career choices have to be an engineer or go to med school. You can get into media because science is more than just calculations and chemistry. It is also about your thinking skills. You can do engineering and go on to be a consultant in business. In a sense, so it's just because you did accounting doesn't mean that you have to be a star accountant. But those things, the students right now, they don't know that. The reason why right now they get devastated when they can no longer qualify for the course that they applied for is because they've been taught that if you did this subject, these are the career choices. You can do anything you want. You can study whatever course you want. You just pass well. You can become whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you've studied. Things have changed. It's knowledge economy. It's all about can you get the job done? Do you have the key skills that are needed to complete the job? But they don't know that. They don't know that. The kids that don't have academic talent, that didn't pass in school, that dropped out of school, they don't know that them knowing how to fix shoes and phones and do hair, that's like the career. They can make lots and lots of money from that if well nurtured and developed. But they need somebody to tell them. And the key environment for them to know this, the key platform is in school. So here and there, our curriculum needs to be like seasoned with some spices. But in terms of the textbooks and the content, it is key. The key thing, we just need change in delivery. Let's not prioritize the test score. Prioritize people understanding how to apply principles, theorems. Do they understand why we're using this formula? Where is it coming from? What's the background story? You know? So that's it. That's where I'm at. Because we need independent thinkers. We need to develop a competitive education. To me, is a kind of education that develops students that can identify opportunities, create opportunities, and capture opportunities. You know, people that can pick an important and good piece of information and turn that into intel, into wisdom. So we need independent thinkers. All right. So yeah. So basically, that's just where I'm at right now. That's like a random thing that I got to say right now. And it is basically about our education, the quality of our education system, and what I think, my view on that. And also, what I think should be done. And yeah. Also, like, I celebrate everyone who's doing their best to help, to push our students to whatever. It could be a course that you're offering, could be a program that you're offering, could be the services that you're offering, it could be the NGO, whatever that you're doing, to help our young people in becoming competitive individuals, both personally and professionally, preparing them for the world of work, preparing them for university, preparing them for life, for careers, helping them in whatever way, emotional support, whatever. Now, I just want people to succeed. And it pains me when I see something going wrong at the root, which is school. So, because if it's wrong there, school is supposed to be, where a lot of stuff are being anchored, and, where the students, these young people are being anchored, are being developed. The reason why we have this rise in private education and we have this rise in homeschooling, it's because people already see this. And also, obviously, if you're on the ground, there's like virtually nothing that you can do to change stuff. Because right now they can also come across as, it can rub people off in a bad way, what I've just said, if you say anything, because also teachers have it hard. But teaching is like an honorable job. It's like you have this power as a teacher. As a teacher, you have this power to save a life and to kill a life. It's like a doctor, So practically every career is important. But right now we're talking about teachers. When you are an educator, a person's life is in your hands. You can do whatever the hell you want. I guess what I'm trying to say right now is that let's fight for them to have a better life. We can see that things are changing out there. Even the people who are superiors to teachers, who are authorities, can we support them, give them resources that they need to get their job done in an easy way, in a seamless way? Can we support each other? Because we need each other. The world is changing, things are changing. The fourth industrial revolution and COVID-19, right now, we're still talking about the fourth industrial revolution and how it is changing things, just threatening, jobs and stuff like that. And then we're thinking about the digital economy and virtual working and stuff like that. And then COVID-19 came, bam, and it just accelerated the whole thing. It was inevitable, blended learning and virtual learning. Now it is here, where we prepared, where skills prepared, where teachers prepared. So we need to be willing to just get the job done, to just help each other. Succeed, because at the end of the day, really, we have to succeed. I want everyone succeeding. We all deserve to succeed, because I don't believe that anybody was born to just suffer and die. That's it for me, Khadi Manakana Khadi, the Possibilitarian. Thank you so much.